Du lyssnar på Dekonstruktiv kritiks julkalender. Jag är Aron Flam. Idag ska vi se vem eller vad som döljer sig bakom lucka nummer 12. Nämen, är det en dansk rasist? Oj, förlåt. Det blev tårta på tårta. En dansk är det.
So I really liked the first sketch I saw, the Bruin sketch, when you come over and you have a murder victim, and you're asking about the assailant, and the Swedish cop, the female Swedish cop, she just basically says, "Well, it's a person."
Yeah.
And you're like, but is it a he or a she? Is it dark or light? Is it and she goes, "It's just a person."
Yeah.
So.
But I think it's important to see that also the Danish cop is also a parody.
Oh yeah.
Of
a Dane. So,
of a Dane.
Okay, so let's go through what are the stereotypes from Danes to Swedes and Swedes to Danes?
Yeah, the stereotype of the Dane is that we're sort of like the hillbillies of Scandinavia. I mean that we're in the opposite part of the PC process. I mean that the Danish cop talks, he's very, he's smoking and talking very poorly about women and stuff like that. That's and that's the stereotypical Dane. I think a lot of the right-wing folks who shared the clip missed that point.
Maybe I think, but I or maybe they just see Danes that way. And thought you were fucking spot on, because I sort of felt you were spot on with both the Dane and the Swede. And I've always had this feeling, not on an individual level, of course, but that Swedish culture and Danish culture, they sort of define themselves in opposition to each other.
Yeah. I found that too.
Yeah, so Danes are freer and more direct, and Swedes are like very demure and shut in and extremely indirect.
Yeah, but also very trustworthy. I mean, I feel that's like a stereotype. I think that if you have like a deal with the Swede, I mean, this is going to be okay. We made this. Yeah. We made this agreement with IKEA. So it's not like if you order something.
But you also made a deal, or didn't you have a deal with Sweden, around 1940 something?
What happened with that?
Well, another Germanic tribe sort of walked across your territory.
True. Yeah. I hear you. That wasn't the Swedes' fault.
No, but I don't know. Didn't we have like a deal to help you guys out?
Oh yeah. Okay. I see where you're getting at.
So, I mean, when it comes to military alliances, Sweden really wants one with Norway and Denmark. I don't think Denmark and Norway are as keen. Or a better example, the Finns, I think, are quite tired of being our buffered zone against Russia.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I see it. I don't know a lot about military deals. So, but it sounds, plausible.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
Yeah. But I mean, when Denmark as a country buys something, quite large military-wise or otherwise, it's always if we buy something like our trains from some Italian company, you just know that we're gonna get screwed over. I mean, but it seems like in that respect, I feel that the idea of the Swedes are that they're very trustworthy.
That's a pretty nice stereotype to have, I guess.
Yeah.
And anyway, so we go back to the sketch.
Yeah.
And you said at the end of your show that you wanted Sweden to really wake up and to unite with Denmark to retake what
Malmö.
I don't know what that is. The area that we call Ramallah of the North.
Okay, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. How? I mean, considering your lack of military
experience, how is that gonna go down?
Yes,
that's what you're asking me. I have no idea.
And there was another example you took up in the show, which was this court ruling in a Swedish court where woman had reported her man for abusing her, and
physically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the man got freed, and she didn't. I mean, and she was sent back to him with the words that it's because his family is better than her family, basically.
Yeah. That was pretty crazy.
How so? I mean, are you denying that his family was better than her family?
I don't really know. I think if I can, just start in another place. I think we're born in the same year. I was born in 78, and I think growing up, after 89, when like the wall was torn down, there was like there was 10, 11 years where I seriously thought that, everybody in the world was heading the same way.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted democracy. Everybody, was on that path. We were different places in sort of like the evolvement, and like the top point, the point that we were all striving for was like the Scandinavian welfare model,
Yeah.
That was like, and even the US that had like a totally different system, they were gonna get there, At some point they would realize, no, you need a bigger state, you need, more healthcare for and paid schools and all this stuff. I sincerely thought that growing up.
But both grew up in societies that are huge welfare states. And they tell us all the time that this is the best thing
way
ever.
to do it. Yeah. This is and I seriously, I really believe that this was like just a matter of time before everybody, of course, realized that this was the right way to live. And I don't see it that way anymore. Now I see that people want really different things, and that court ruling is a perfect example of that. That it's not about that if you get a little bit of education and a little bit of safety and a little bit of wealth, that then some Democrat is gonna grow out of your head. It doesn't work like that. I mean, we really want different things.
And then maybe you should have a system that accommodates for that.
Yeah, at least you have to, at the very least, you have to realize that people are different and have very different ideals about what a society should be. And if you can't even talk about that, then I think we're pretty fucked.
But can you talk about that in Denmark, for instance?
It's hard because the way the debate is, people go into extremes. So we have a lot of people who are like just trying to be tough on immigration without any thought about how are we going to get these people to feel at home in Denmark, which is as important. I mean, and it's just about being tough and being perceived as tough, because there's of course a lot of votes in that, and then we have a diminishing fraction of political parties who are like insisting that there is no problems. And
so you have a similar situation to Sweden, but sort of toned down, and people can say a bit more here than, I mean, because in Sweden, as you said, you get shamed out of the public sphere if you.
Yeah, but I mean, the big problem, as I see it, one of the problems is that you have isolated Sverigesdemokraterna.
The Swedish Nationalist Party.
Yeah. And We have we have had Dansk Folkeparti, which is our nationalists, for a lot longer. And they're actually part of the democratic process, which has, they're still not in government, which I think is a problem, because they're still able to sit sort of on the sideline and say, oh, this is not how we would have done it. Mm-hmm. And it's just a parody, because, it's like sitting in the living room, shouting out into the kitchen what you want people, oh, this is not how I would have made it. So get out there and, pull your sleeves up and do some stuff, because I think that's the only way to see that the nationalists, what they do is they point out very real problems, but their solutions are often very bad. And you don't see that unless you get them into doing the actual governing work.
Yeah, you want them to rule so they can fail, basically. Yes.
Yeah.
As most people do at everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tack för att du lyssnar på Dekonstruktiv kritik. Jag är Aron Flam. Vill du stötta Dekonstruktiv kritiks arbete, och det vill du, så kan du göra det på patreon.com/aronflam, patreon.com/aronflam i ett ord, via PayPal, med Bitcoin eller på Swish 0768 943737. 0768 943737. Du kan och bör också köpa boken Det här är en svensk tiger och boken Älskade public service, som jag skrivit tillsammans med Jens Ganman. Till nästa lucka, det vill säga imorgon, ha en god tidsenhet.